I just can't do a Need for Speed game review right after the other, okay? It ain't August yet. It will not even be about that for this year. Just ignore that suit that I somehow have. It's definitely not a hint. Need for Speed, I mean Road Challenge. Whatever. As I said before in my review of Hot Pursuit 98, it was a really good game, but I recommended getting ice sticks. And so here we are. Just a year later, the game was released for the PS1 and PC by EA Canada and EACR respectively. It has its first and last for the series. It is the first game to have a career mode, and it's the last game to have Ferraris and Mercedes to be unavailable for Hot Pursuit, if you don't count Porsche Unleashed. It's also the first game to have different subtitles in a puzzle role, and also the last game to have the overdriven name in Japan. It's the first to have licensed music, and the last to have fictional drivable cars, until theoretically Most Wanted 2005, where you get to drive traffic cars and a fictional cop car in a few of the challenges. And it's the first game in the series to feature a Pontiac and fully licensed BMW, since the NASCAR C2 wasn't called a Beamer in the previous two games. It is also the last game to have software rendering. Like last time, I'll be playing the PC version, and it also has on-disc manual. Well, isn't that nice? No need to worry about losing your manual, but I feel incomplete! I should like to point out that the game isn't compatible out of the box with anything after Windows 98, so you have to use the latest patch and the fan-made patch to play it on a modern PC. While my copy doesn't seem to play the intro, it starts with a Rice Mobile challenging you against a Porsche and oh wow, it broke at the start, how ironic. And like the previous game, the menus are stuck in 640 by 480. It also has the same modes as before, single race, hot pursuit, knockout and tournament. However, the second mode has been revamped, as I'll talk about it later. Meanwhile, there's a new career mode. I'm guessing they saw the success of Gran Turismo and possibly Rage Races, so they joined the bandwagon, which is for the better. Here you can buy cars, win tournaments and knockouts, upgrade with packages, and even race for pings, which are mandatory. You start out with 20 grand, and the only cars that you can buy are Mercedes SLK and a BMW Z3. They're slow yet quirky little roadsters that do the job well. The mode is divided into 10 tiers called tours, 3 of them being one make. Most of the events have an entry fee, and sometimes they have restrictions on most of the classes, and you'll get the money by winning all the races in the tournament. This isn't like Gran Turismo, yo! The races can be a bit time consuming and boring when they have more than 2 laps, especially if an event has tracks from the previous game, but at least it automatically saves your game between races. You have to complete every event in a tier to progress, and that includes the high stake events, which are pink slips, meaning you're forced to risk one of your cars to complete the game. Doesn't seem to matter much in the first high stake events, as I'll explain later. At the start, there's 13 cars to choose from in arcade mode, like the 911 Turbo, the first Porsche since the first game, the M5, the Firebird, the F50 returned for the second game, and the aforementioned SLK. The AAA cars like the CLK GTR and the McLaren F1 GTR are also available from the beginning, so it's neat to see that. On the PS1 version, you have to unlock them by winning tournaments in career mode, but not on the PC version. While it has the 95 GTR, the PS1 version has the Longtail 97 version. Speaking of which, it has a DB7, which begs the question, why did they left these images in the PC version if it isn't in the game? Sure, you get it as an add-on, but they should have made it in the game proper. Just like the previous game, there's 3 add-ons for it, as well as region exclusive cars like the Falcon XR8 and the HSV in the Australian version, and the Skyline GTR in the Japanese version, more than half a year before the original release of Gran Turismo 2. Adding them all up, including the unlockable La Nina car, the game has a total of 23 cars, not including the Pursuit and bonus cars. On the PS1 version, instead of the La Nina, we have 2 secret cars, the Phantom Supercar and the Tiny Hot Rod. Odd, why do they have the cool cars whereas I have what appears to be an El Nino with a barely different name? I'm jealous! For some reason, I can't seem to tune my car in knockout mode. I don't know why they did that. The game is very similar to Hot Pursuit. The handling is almost the same, the physics are even identical, which of course sucks. You lose speed when you're airborne, the flips are weird, and so on and so forth. I know this is an arcade racer, but even some of them don't have a physics model that isn't as bad as this. I guess consistent physics in arcade racers just isn't in their nature. For some reason, the speedometer is changed. Here's the Diablo in a Hot Pursuit. Here I didn't go less than 200 kilometers an hour in that chicane. Here is again in Ice Ticks, going on the same speed in the chicane. According to the speedometer, I went less than that. I don't know, it felt like I was doing the same speed. So what else is new? Damage? Are you nuts? Okay, not actually, but yes, this is the first game in the series to have a damage feature. Any hit or landing can break your engine, suspension, steering, and even the body. Yes, there's also body deformation. While in arcade knockout and tournament modes, the car gets fixed right away in the next race. In career, you have to repair your car outside or in between races, and that costs you a lot of money, so the first races can be a financial doozy. So the physics are the same, and the damage model is a good addition. What about the AI? Well, they can really be harsh on you, and yet sometimes they can be easy peasy, even in champion difficulty. There's 3 instead of 2. At least the difficulty names in the previous game are more accurate. Here, they seem a bit vague. Champion? Wouldn't that make the AI drivers such idiots judging by that name? Okay, enough quips. When it comes to knockout or tournament, it really isn't that risky, except when it has weather, since in this game the AI can get far behind, and if not, well, you can easily restart the race in the pause menu, no catch whatsoever. Unfortunately, you can't restart a race in career mode. Frick, this isn't like Underground 1, here you can restart any race in a tournament, no catch whatsoever as well. In the PC version, the game has 19 tracks, including the race and the tracks from the previous game. In the PS1, it only has 10. The tracks from the previous game are the same as ever. No major changes, if not any, at all. Well, except for these minor graphical glitches. I remember seeing that, but nonetheless, they are still enjoyable. As for the new tracks, well, it's a mixed bag. Celtic Ruins is an easy track where the layout looks like a badly made thinking bubble that I could draw. Landstrasse features this shortcut that has a big jump in it, reminiscent of the days of Need for Speed 2 perhaps. Dolphin Cove is a good one, featuring a lush environment and narrow sections. Kiniak Park involves driving around a national park with a moving train and a shortcut in the middle of the rails. Route Andon faces a mixed bag with a narrow section and jump down suitable for AAA cars. Durham Road is another mixed bag, set in the English suburbs this time, with splitting roads, jumps, and a ship that looks like a cartoon sci-fi gun. And Story Ridge, which is like the summit only bearable, I guess. Then there's the raceway tracks, and they're only named Raceway 1, 2, 3. Wow, can the names get more generic than that? Unfortunately, in the PS1 version, there isn't any secret tracks like last time. Could have at least spared the time to add a few fun tracks in it. I have nothing against the new tracks, it's just that I'm more used to the tracks from the previous 2 games. Fortunately, with mods, you can replace the tracks with user-created ones. Yes, even including the ones from the first and second, just like the third game. Anyway, the tracks can all be raced with weather, traffic, in nighttime, reverse mirrored, all of the above. And like the third, in the hardest knockout on tournament, there's gonna be a few races of rain and nighttime combined, so good luck with that. Hot Pursuit has been improved. There are now 3 game modes that you can play in it: Classic, Getaway, and Time Trap. Classic is where you must avoid being ticketed enough times before getting arrested. Getaway is where you must avoid getting arrested until time runs out. And Time Trap is the same as Classic, but you must finish the race before time runs out. My favorite is Getaway. Even if you evaded the cops long enough, you can still continue your evasion. On the cop side though, you must get the felon before time runs out, even if you have the option to continue after the time limit. Speaking of cops, playing as them is better. While in the previous game you just play as one cop that can deploy spikes, here you can chase cop cars in the track on the fly, and you can also request to set up roadblocks. When playing as the racers though, the cops are a bit dumb. They don't seem to chase you, but rather break to the side often, like in GTA 4. And even if they do chase you, they go far away from you if you have a AA car or better. It's even much worse on the all long tracks where police coverage is scarce. Showcase is still present with some changes. There's no history menu for some reason. There are descriptions on the slideshow, and I still have no clue on why they showed the facelifted version of the Diablo when you only get to play the pre-lifted version. Was that an oversight? I hate to say the term, but while it's a bit dumbed down, it's still pretty descriptive, with the stats and all that. For some reason they have 2 voices in the menu, one for the car showcases.
The original Camaro debuted in 1966 at the height of the muscle car era. Auto buffs loved the car, but wanted more performance, and Chevrolet gave it to them in the form of the more powerful Z28 in 1967. The first year a Camaro paced the Indy 500. The Z28 has always been the most desirable of the Camaro line.
And one for the track presentations.
Set in the rural Northlands, this unique course takes you across pastoral farmland and rustic countryside. In contrast to the rural lifestyle, you'll careen down narrow country roads, but watch out for sudden twists, dips, and obstacles.
The same thing happened in Hot Pursuit 2, which I'll hopefully cover until the end of the year. Wow, that picture looks sharp. Graphics, even for 1999 standards, are questionable at best on the PC version. Sure, they now have interiors and most of the cars from the previous game look all the same, their textures are mirrored and all that. But while some are photographed, the textures for the other new cars look like they were drawn in paint at times. Just look at the Corvette convertible, these taillights look basic as heck. Is this just me or the car models thinner? The tracks are still beautiful to look at, even better with the fog in them as they can do some sick effects in some of them like Celtic Ruins. And look at this! Fully 3D dashboards, with moving dials and bad visibility on the back. And night traffic is much better, well, at least for the new tracks. The old tracks look just like in Need for Speed 3, but still, isn't that wonderful? And dang it, what do I look like Hank Hill in this game? As for sound, it's slightly better. Is it just me or was the engine noise of the CLK GTR reused in Underground? What's great about the game is that the police shadow is different in Celtic Ruins and Durham Road, where the cops have British accents and one of them seems to sound like one of the Chuckle brothers.
353 to Central, go ahead Tango Alpha 353, responding to your last, at the farm. Roger that, the suspect...
The music is a major change. Instead of interactive music, it's been replaced by normal playing licensed songs from the likes of Junkie XL, The Experiment, and a few originals from Ron DiPrisco. While I like the racing songs, even if some don't sound fitting, the menu songs are way better. My favorite has to be Callista. It's really easy listening when you choose your car. Thankfully, you can make the menus only play one specific track, so Callista all the way. And before you folks type in the comments, the song was reused in Mass Effect 2. There! No need to spew the C word.
Unless you think you're a clever little pointing it out in the comments section, yay, murder!
High Stakes was a really fun and enjoyable game that I highly recommend, especially the PC version. Not only because of the career mode, the cars, tracks, and police chases, but also the very dedicated modding community who made tons of cars and tracks. Even after the servers were shut down, you can still play online by downloading a fan-made patch called the Stock Pack and Expansion Pack, which fixes a lot of bugs and adds a track and car list manager to replace tracks and add cars into the game more easily. Steam seems like a high point of this era to me, and it may be a sign of things to come. Mainly Porsches. Porsches all over the next game. No one can use Porsches better, yay!